Hi guys, welcome to today's video. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you've been subscribed, then thank you for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. For today's video, we're going to be rating these mascaras. I picked 10 of them to try. I did pick one high end, all the other are drugstore. And the high end I am going to mix together because one's waterproof and one is just regular, and try and see which one I like the best. And then all the rest are drugstore. The first one is by e.l.f. It is their smudge proof mascara. It has an upper wand and a lower wand, so I can show you. It's just a straight wand. I don't even know if they sell this one anymore. And then that's for your lower lashes. This was $4, but when I went on their website to find it, I couldn't find it. Next is Maybelline Sky High. This is what the wand looks like. Packaging. And this was $11. A little harder to find because it's pretty popular right now. The next one is the Lash Paradise. That's what the wand looks like. And it is typically $9 by itself. I did get it in a 2-pack for like $15.87, so 16 bucks. And then I bought this separately. It was about $6. It is just the base, which I think it helps prime your lids, so I got that to try out. The next one I got is the Better Than Sex waterproof one. It's $26. So that's what that wand looks like. And my favorite kind of wands are these, where they're curved on both sides. I just think they work better and give a good lift to the eyelash. Next is the regular Better Than Sex, also $26. Same type of wand with this one. Then I just kept this one out because that's how it comes. But this is the CoverGirl Lash Blast. And it was $7. Oops, try to put it back in there. Next is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. It's tough to open. This one has a curved head, which I also do like. And this one was $6, so very affordable. The next one is Colossal. Now I don't really know why the cool packaging. I don't know if there's a difference, but I just picked it out because it had nice packaging. I think it's the same as the regular yellow packaging. This is what that wand looks like. And this one was $7. Seriously, my favorite color is yellow, so I just love the packaging. The next one is Scandal Eyes by Rimmel London. So this is what the wand looks like. Looks nice how it's the type that I like. and this one was $6. This next one is the Falsies by Maybelline. The wand looks like this. I've never used a type of wand like this, so I'm hoping this goes well. But I saw this one on TikTok and it looks like it'll work nicely. This was $9. And last but not least is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Active. So I think it's more like sweat proof, waterproof. But this is what the head looks like. Oop, it's not focusing. But looks nice, and it was also $6. So most of these were $6. Maybelline got a little expensive, well, like $11 or $9. And then this just a 2-pack. So if it's 16 for 2, they're about $8 each. So that's fine. Not crazy expensive. The Better Than Sex was the most. So here they all are again. Just have a nice look at them. But I will tell you how we will be rating them. So I'll be rating the flaking. I will be rating the takeoff process. If it's hard to take off, if it comes off smoothly, if it comes off too easily. I will be doing wear tests for you guys. So wearing them for a whole day, and then at the end of the day, letting you know how they worked out. So I will be keeping track of the takeoff. So at the end of the day, I'll be taking it off and letting you guys know if it was easy to take off, or if it was like a little more difficult, or if I definitely would not want to take it off. So I'll do 0 through 5, or probably none will be 0, but 1 through 5, 1 being it wasn't so great, like it was very hard to take off, 5 being it was easy to take off, I would definitely buy it again. Or for the rest of them, like for flaking, 1 through 5, 1 would be it flaked a lot, 5 would be it didn't flake. So 5 is going to be the top rating of how you would want your mascaras. So if it stayed all day, it's getting a 5. If its formulation was good, I know it's probably preference, but I really don't like wetter formulas. So if any of these are wet, they'll probably be a no for me, because my eyelids touch my eyelashes like as soon as I get mascara on them. So really liquidy mascaras tend to get all over my eyelash, and it's just annoying. And then I will be giving it an overall rating 5 out of 5. That's good. 1 out of 5 is bad. But I will probably do that out of 10. Since there are 10, I'll probably do like an overall. This one's a 1 out of 10. Yeah, I could do that at the end. I could rate it like best to worst for their overall rating. For the overall rating, I will be doing how I feel about it. Like if it's a 5 out of 5, I would definitely buy it. I would use it again. But if it's a 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, or 1 out of 5, like I'm obviously not going to use that again. But so that's how I'll do that. With the length, the volume, and the separation, I'll be rating those all separately, but 1 out of 5 again. So you can see if it's volumizing, if it says it's supposed to be volumizing, or major length if it says it's supposed to be lengthening. I chose affordable mascaras for the sake of me not spending $30 on each mascara, and for you guys to hopefully be able to find a good affordable mascara for yourself. Without further ado, I'm going to go head to the shower, take off my makeup, and then get ready for the day trying on a new mascara. So we'll see you in a bit. I've got you zoomed in, a little better lighting now that it's light out. We are going to try Scandalize first. So this will be day 1. All right, there's one coat. Going in for the second coat. is that. I'm gonna do the lower lashes. I don't like mine extremely long or clumpy, so I'm just gonna do one thin coat. I'm gonna clean up and I will show you what this looks like. This is the Scandal Eyes All On. There are 3 coats. I did not show the 3rd coat because it was a little easier to put on off camera. A little clumpier than I normally would go for, but I think it looks nice. So I will keep you guys updated, show you how it looks when I wear it the whole day. So my day is now over. I thought I'd check in. There was a little bit of flaking here during the day, but nothing terrible. I would definitely wear this stuff again. And so I will be doing my ratings at the end of the video, but I'll keep it written down. This is about 8 hours of wear. It's time to get ready for bed. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to take off the mascara. I'm going to do it all the same. I'm going to use this, which is just a wax makeup remover, and this is the Rimmel mascara. Come on. So it's probably as good as I'm gonna get it. So it came off very nicely, I think, compared to some others that I have tried. And I'll show you the wipes I use. They're retinol to help with wrinkles. Alright, well that is a full day of the Rimmel mascara, and I think it worked out pretty good. Alright guys, day 2. Today I'm just going to close my eyes and pick a random one. I'm scared. Lash Sensational. So that's the first coat. I am going to wait a little bit longer for the second coat because it was a little wet. Alright, coat number 2. Thinking I'll just need 2 coats, so I'm going to do the bottom lashes right away. And I like to do it after I did this, so this is a little bit drier and doesn't have so much product on it. Alright, so that is it. Completed. The only thing I would say is that I did poke myself in the eye 3 times with that brush, so I don't know if it's the shape of it, because I don't think I've ever used a brush that looks like this, but it could just be because I'm super tired this morning. I don't know, but I love how they look. Not clumpy at all. And this was actually a very high rated one, so it's definitely a keeper. I will let you guys know how it goes throughout the day, and I'll check back in. I just got back from work. I couldn't really do a check-in, but there was no flaking at all with this one. I didn't wipe my eyes once today, and I was at work for 8.5 hours. Put it on before I left, so probably 9-10 hours, maybe 9.5. So this one is great. I feel like they still look as high up, like they weren't weighed down at all by it, and there was absolutely no flaking. So I love this one. Alright, there it is, completely off. Just took a... Today we're going to be using the Maybelline Colossal. I turned on a light to make it a bit easier to see, but now I'm doing the second coat. Alright, I'm going to clean this up and I'll hop back on. There is the finished look, and the only thing I will say about this is that it does have a smell. I mean, it doesn't smell terrible, but I feel like with the other mascaras, I didn't really notice a scent, but this one I did. So just to keep that in mind, but I definitely think I've got some keepers so far. I will check back in later in the day. So I'm at work. The makeup has been on for about 6 hours now. Just wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but there was a little bit of flaking with this one. I still think it's lasting pretty good. What do you think? 6 hours in. Alright, I'm gonna pick another random one. CoverGirl Lash Blast Active. Alright, here we go. By the way, day 4. So that's one coat. Coat number 2. clean this up. Then I'm gonna go off camera and do the lower lashes. All right, here it is, all on. I will check back in with you guys later today. So I wanted to show you guys, there isn't flaking, which is nice, but there is, well, it's hard to see on camera, but like a little bit on the top. I don't know what I'd call that though, but it's not flaking. Still mad about this separation. Wasn't the best, but yeah, it's about 6 hours of wear, so pretty good. All right, another day, another mascara to choose from. We are down to the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are down to the last 6. I know there's more than 6 in here, but I'm doing these 2 the same day, and this is just a primer that goes with one. So let's see what we get. Falsies Push Up by Maybelline. Oops, forgot to comb my lash. One coat. Second coat and bottom layer and cleanup I did off camera, so this is how they look. I will check back in probably 5 or 6 hours after work. All right, so checking in. I didn't notice any flaking at all today, so that's good. I think this drooped down a little bit more than I would like it to. It seems a little heavy on this eye, so it did clump up a little extra, so maybe that's why it kind of weighed it down. But overall, I like that there was no flaking throughout the day. I do like that there was no flaking throughout the day, so I think it's a pretty good one. All right. Well, it didn't come off great. Still quite a bit on there. So I'm going to take my makeup wipe it off. All right, guys. Today is day 5. So I will be picking a random one today. CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume. Oh. So that's one layer. Looking pretty good. Second layer. Then we'll look at the bottom lashes. Alright, I'll go clean this up. But there it is, completely on, cleaned up. And if you guys don't remember, this is the stuff that I used, oops, it's upside down, in high school. So I do remember there was fallout in high school, but maybe they changed their formula. So I guess we will see. It was on for about 9 hours. So no flaking at all. I didn't wipe it. Yeah, what is that? So no flaking whatsoever all day. So I'm happy with that. Still looks good. Doesn't look weighed down. Maybe this one a little bit. But overall, I'd say it's good. My Easter stuff still up. Oops. This one is a little harder to get off, but I'll get the rest with my makeup wipe. All right, there we go. I'm not feeling the best this morning, but we have got 4 left. So I know there's 6 in the box, but these 2 go together and these 2 go together. All right. And this is just an extra, but here we go. So we got Better Than Sex mascara. So we're going to do one eye, this, and one eye, the waterproof. Leaving us with 3. So since I grabbed the pink, we'll start with that one. Oh. All right, there's one coat. Now we'll do the waterproof. And there's one coat of that. I would say this one goes on a little thicker and this one a little thinner. We'll see with the second coat how they turn out. Oops, almost put that on there. The original Better Than Sex is a little thinner, I would say, so it doesn't go on as good as this one, in my opinion. I mean, this one does clump up a little bit, but as you can see, my lashes over here are not as long as they are over here, and they're not as full, I don't think, as they are over here. So there's definitely 2 different formulas going on. All right, so I did a couple extra layers of the pink. I only needed 2 layers of the green, and that's how that looks. And then the pink now looks like this, so they're pretty equal now. So I will have to do a wear test. So if it flakes on this side, it'll be pink, and if it flakes on this side, it'll be green. I'll try and keep track of that in the video. Now I just have to get ready for work, so I will wear these all day and let you guys know. All right, the day is over, and this is the regular Better Than Sex mascara, and this is the waterproof. So I did notice, but I wiped off the flaking under the regular. Not horrible at all. There was like one tiny piece, and I might have just rubbed my eye awkwardly, but they both stayed on very well. As you can see, there's nothing up here, and they're both pretty high up still. As you know, this one started lower because it just didn't get as much lift as that one. But so again, my right eye has the regular Better Than Sex mascara, and my left eye has the waterproof Better Than Sex mascara. So we're going to take them off, see how they do. Okay, they are both quite hard to get off, as you can see. This one harder than this one, but I'll also try getting my face makeup off. I just have so much stuff going on. Three left today. This one, and this one. This is just another one of these, and then that's just primer. Alright. It's kind of pointless, but here we go. So, sky high today. Here's what the brush looks like. It is bendy. First coat on that eye. All right, let's just go ahead and do another coat. All right, I'm going to finish this off camera and do the bottom lashes. I'll be back. It got a little clumpy, but I do like the length it gave. Maybe says hydro fudge on it, so maybe that means volume or something, but I think overall it looks pretty good. Again, this is the Sky High mascara. So check back in a few hours. Okay, I'm home now, and I just wanted to show you that I did have some flaking little pieces up here, but I didn't get any down here throughout the day. So as you can see that it stayed pretty good all day. Like, they're still sitting nice and high. So yeah, they're pretty good. I do this one in the shower today.
Sorry, I know, a little weird, but it's just landed on a shower day. Wow, this one is very hard to get off. I think I'm still gonna need a makeup wipe to get it off. Alright, I'm shampooed, conditioned, out of the shower, and there's just a couple little flakes down here. Everything else does seem to have washed off for the most part. There might be a little piece in the inner corner, but overall, it's basically off. It was definitely the hardest one so far to take off, but it did look great all day, so it was not waterproof. I double checked that because I was like, why is it so hard to get off? But all right, so there are 2 left. It is between Voluminous Lash Paradise and e.l.f. and I'm just going to go ahead and pick the e.l.f. because I want to save this one for last. We'll start with the first coat of the upper lash line. I think I hold it like this. Yep. Oh my. Okay. So I don't know how this is gonna work out. Okay, is this even working? Well, it is barely working. It's like, I don't know what it's doing. It's dried out completely in a month. Okay, so I guess we're just doing 1 coat of this because it's trash. But this is probably why it was $1.50. So we'll just roll with it. Okay, so it has basically done nothing. We'll do the lower lash. That seems very dried out as well. Oops. Actually, why am I saying oops? This mascara is something else. But that's probably why you can't find it on their website anymore. That was a fail, and that is going straight to the trash. It is the last one. I'll be doing the primer first and then putting on the mascara. I already have eyeliner on the top just because that's how I want to wear my makeup today. You can kind of see like how much that helps. So that's how that looks. Oops. I went ahead and finished them off camera. They do look pretty voluminous to me, since they're supposed to be voluminous. You can't see any of the white, as I mentioned, it's just a primer. So we'll see how this wears throughout the day. Okay, so here's the makeup. It's been on for 7 hours about. There was a little flaking, but I had to wipe that off. But overall, it lasted pretty good. Well, guys, the results are in. The moment you have been waiting for. So these are all just my opinion. I just want to say that right away, and what has worked best for me. So if these don't work for you, then that's okay. But I will be going through which product worked best for me and why. The ratings will be based off flaking, formulation, length, volume, separation, if it stayed all day, the takeoff, if it was easy, hard, too easy, and then an overall rating, which I will post up here at the end, just so you guys can see my opinion on worst to best. Just in case my best doesn't work for you, you can go down the line and kind of see what works best for you. So we're going to begin with Rimmel London Scandal Eyes. I will put the price on here too, just in case you guys want to see how much it is or how much I paid for it. I should include that. So for this one, the flaking was a 4 out of 5 for me. There was a little bit of flaking, but not terrible. And typically with like voluminous mascaras, flaking is common. So for this not to get too much flaking, it's a good thing. So for the formulation, I would give it a 4 out of 5. It was a little on the wet side, which isn't a problem for everybody, but I don't like it personally because then it gets all over my lashes and I have to wait longer to put a coat on. And my mistake with the clumpiness was before putting on the second coat, I don't think I waited long enough, so I did get some clumping, but I will talk about that. So for length, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because it gave good length, not the best length I've seen, but great length. Volume, I gave it a 4 out of 5 as well because it gave good volume, but it did have clumping. But again, that could be my fault for not waiting long enough in between coats. The separation, I gave it 2 out of 5 because of how clumpy that it got. But, you know, it could work differently for everybody. I haven't tried it again since because it hasn't been that long and I've just been using the one up that has worked best for me. For the takeoff, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it was easy to take off, but it wasn't too easy, which is important to me. Some people might like it if it comes off easily, but if I was crying, it didn't come off. So I did a cry test with each of them and I did film them like fake crying, but I filmed them and they just did not turn out good, so I'm not going to include those. I'm just going to let you guys know like if they smudged while I was crying. I didn't wipe my eye, but just to see if I would like tear up or maybe blink and cry, because sometimes they will clump up like that, but I didn't have that when I was crying. So that's what I mean by easy but not too easy. So my overall rating for this one is going to be an 8 out of 10 since it was a little clumpy, did have a little bit of length and volume issues. They just weren't where I wanted them to be, but overall 8 out of 10. The next one we're going to talk about is Colossal. Now, I don't know if I bought the right Colossal one for this video because I do believe this has sparkles in it and they just happen to get all over my face and everything. You can kind of see them on the stem of the brush. I wasn't sure if this is like a featured item or something. I'm not sure why there are sparkles in it. And I can't read the box anymore because I tossed it. But I'm just adding this Colossal one with the silver container
does have sparkles in it. And the reason I got the one with the silver container is because I liked how it looked. That's it. That's my real reason. So with this one, the flaking, I would give it a 3 out of 5 because it had more flaking than I really expected, because I don't think it's a voluminous mascara, and typically volumizing mascaras are the most flaking. So this one, I was just surprised that it had as much flaking as it did. The formulation though, it was a little wet, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. It wasn't terrible though, just had to wait a little bit longer in between coats. For the length, it was a 5 out of 5. I thought it gave me great length, worked really good. For volume, 4 out of 5. It could have been a little better, I thought, but that's just me. The separation was 5 out of 5. It didn't clump on me, and so it was great. Stay all day, I would give it a 4 out of 5 because it stayed great besides the flaking. So they were still up high and there was no smudging on my eyelids, which sometimes I get because I think I just have oilier eyelids. Sometimes mascara touches them, and they're hooded, so my eyes are like always on my eyelids. And then the takeoff was 5 out of 5, super easy, not too easy, passed the cry test. And the overall, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because it does have glitter in it. It didn't have too much volume, and it had some flaking. The next one we'll be talking about is Lash Blast Active. So I think it's supposed to be more if you're working out, sweating all day, and stuff like that. So for the flaking, I will give it a 4 out of 5 because there was no flaking, surprisingly, but there was smudging at the top of my eyelids. So like when I did sweat or when the oil started going after wear, then it would get smudgy up here, which not a huge deal because I don't wear makeup typically on my eyelids, but if I did, I wouldn't really appreciate that because it would probably ruin my whole look. Formulation, I would give it 2 out of 5 because it was pretty wet, and again, I don't like wet formulation. The length was, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It was good, had good length, wasn't the longest they've ever been or could be, so 4 out of 5. For volume, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 because it was clumping when I was putting it on, and I couldn't really get it to stop clumping. I will talk more about that. Separation, 3 out of 5 because it was pretty hard getting them separated. So for stay all day, pretty much the same thing, 2 out of 5 because the lashes kept clumping together like even throughout the day, probably because they were getting wet from the oils on my eyelids, but it was just kind of a struggle for the day. I will be using it until it's gone, probably on days where I'm not doing much, and not when it's hot out, maybe in the winter or on a colder rainy day, but I'll use it till it's gone and then probably will not purchase again. So the overall for this is a 4 out of 10 for those reasons that I can't really wear it on hot days or days that I'm working out, and I do work out 3 times a week, so that's kind of tough to work around. But anyway, it's not terrible, just not for me. The next one I'll be talking about is the Lash Blast Volume. Now, same person, CoverGirl, that made the red. This one is just supposed to be a volume mascara. So for flaking, I believe there was no flaking throughout the day. If there was any, it was very minimal, so that's a positive. The formulation, I'm gonna give a 3 out of 5 because although I do like drier mascaras, this was like dry to the point where it was hard to get the mascara onto my eyelashes, so it was just a little tough to work with. It needed a lot of coats, so 3 out of 5 for that. Length, 5 out of 5. It does have a great length. Volume, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 because it has great volume, and it says it's for volume, and it actually gave great volume, so thumbs up for that one. Separation, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Even though it was drier, it was still like sticky almost, sort of. So a couple lashes would stick together here, and a couple lashes would stick together here, and then I'd be like putting on more product to get them to stop sticking, and it just wasn't working very well. Eventually it did work, so I gave it a 4 out of 5, but maybe I should have rated it like a 2 or a 3 just because it did that. I don't know. So the stay all day, it did, held up good. It's 5 out of 5 for me because there was no smudging, there was no flaking. It actually stayed on very good once I was able to get it on there. The takeoff, I'm giving a 4 out of 5. It was a little harder to take off. Not like super hard, but kind of like I had to go over it with a makeup remover after washing it off. So my overall for that is a 6 out of 10, just because it wasn't great with the taking off, getting the lashes separated, and the dryness of the formula. I will use it until it's gone, but I probably won't purchase again just because it wasn't my favorite. It was, though, my favorite in high school, so times have changed. This one is next up. It's called the Falsies Push-Up Angel, and I actually saw this on like 20 different TikToks in a row. That's the reason I wanted to try it out so bad, because their lashes were so long. So I'll just show the brush again because I do talk about the complications with the brush that I had. So for flaking, 5 out of 5. There was no flaking at all with this one, which I really enjoyed. The formulation, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a little wet, and it needed a few extra coats. I think mostly that's because of how the brush is designed. I don't love how the brush was designed, personally. For length, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it did have the great length that all the people on TikTok were talking about. The volume, I'm giving a 4 out of 5 because it was a little harder to get the volume that I prefer. It really has good separation and kind of just is more focusing on length. So the volume, you had to build up the coats, and so it's just a little tough to get volume out of it. And now that I've been using it, I will add a different mascara just to get the volume in there and kind of mix the two together. So it's not the best for volume. If you're looking for a volume mascara, probably do not get this one. For the separation, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because I thought it separated really nicely. Even after multiple coats, it was hard to get them to kind of clump up together. So for the stay all day, I did give it a 4 out of 5 because there was a little bit of smudging on the top of my eyelid, probably because that's where the lashes sat most of the time, and it was probably a hotter day. But there was a little bit of clumping while it was doing that, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. The takeoff was a 3 out of 5 for me because it did have tubing, which I do not like tubing when you are taking off your mascara, which the one I'm wearing right now does it, but it's not terrible. But this one it just was the hardest one to get off by far. So the overall I gave it was a 6 out of 10 because it was very hard to get off. It didn't give me the volume that I love, and it smudged a little. Now we will be talking about two different ones, and even though they are the same thing, but one's waterproof and one's not, they were completely different. Oh, but also for this one, the crying test, it didn't come off very easily, which is good and bad, but if I cried hard, it comes off in tubes, so that's kind of weird, but whatever. It doesn't come off like regular mascara, I will tell you that. So back to these. I had to rate them kind of differently because they're just completely different in my opinion. So the regular formulation the regular one for flaking, I gave a 4 out of 5 because it did flake throughout the day. The waterproof one, which is the green, did not flake, so it got a 5 out of 5. For the formulation, I gave this one a 2 out of 5 because it is like the wettest formulation I've ever tried, and it takes very long to dry. So it would get all over my eyelids, all over my under eye and everything, and I just really did not like that. For the waterproof one though, good formulation, little wet, not terrible though. Now for the length with the regular Better Than Sex mascara, I gave it a 2 out of 5. I know that's mean, but for me, I had a very hard time with getting length. So that just wasn't my favorite. But for the waterproof, 5 out of 5. I got great length with it. You can see that in the video, but I was just surprised that I thought they were like the same formula, but this was just waterproof and this wasn't, but turns out it's not like that. For volume, I'm giving this a 3 out of 5 because it was a little tough to get good volume. But with the waterproof one, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it was really nice with the volume. Separation for both of them, I gave them a 4 out of 5 because they were both a little clumpy. Nothing terrible though. Stay all day, I gave 5 out of 5 for both because they did stay great all day. And I would not probably wear this one. I think I'll just give it to my mom because she wears this and it just didn't work out for me. But the takeoff, I am giving it a 3 out of 5 because they were hard to get off, which was kind of weird. I mean, I understand the waterproof one, but this one was a little hard to get off, which I didn't love, but they both passed the crying test, so I guess that's a positive. But overall, I am going to give this one a 6 out of 10, maybe 5 out of 10, just because it really did not work for me. And then I'm going to give the waterproof one 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10. I will buy the waterproof one again. I won't buy this one again. And yeah, like I said, I don't even know if I'll use this tube, but I will use this one. So that's it for those two. The next one we'll be talking about is Maybelline Sky High. Now, this is like my favorite one, but it is not my favorite one. Different formulation, same people though. For the flaking, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because there was some smudging on the top of my eyelid, and there was some flakes in my eyebrows, which I thought was weird, but I don't know, but usually, I don't know, if I was looking up or something, maybe it was weird. I don't know why there's flakes in my eyebrows, but the formulation, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 because it's a great formulation. It's like not too dry, not too wet. It's perfect. Length, 5 out of 5. This actually does give you very nice length. And I also saw this one on a TikTok for length. So yeah, it's definitely good. Volume, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it does have good volume. For separation, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because with added coats, it gets pretty clumpy, and I probably put on 2 or 3 coats. That's my typical, so got a little clumpy after a little bit. For stay all day, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because it did stay pretty good all day besides the smudging and the flaking on the top. But the takeoff, now I gave it a 3 out of 5, but I should probably give it a 2 out of 5 because it was super hard to get off. It tubed really bad, just like the falsies, the purple one, and it was very hard to get off, so not good. Overall, I am giving it a 9 out of 10 because it did work great besides the tubing and how hard it is to take off. So I do not typically wear this unless I know I'm going to be showering that day and washing my face because it's so hard to get off. But it passed the cry test. Okay, now this one is just kind of embarrassing. because you guys seen the video, but the e.l.f. Smudge Proof Mascara. Now, they don't make this anymore, and I can kind of see why, and I'm guessing it's because of how it is, but I'll just show you again. Oops, that's the wrong side. I'll just show you guys again. Oh my gosh. The brush ends here. This is all mascara right here. Oh, that's so gross. And it seems like it's getting worse the more and more I open it. So I wasn't really able to try, as you saw how hard it was to put on. So I gave the flaking a 1 out of 5. A benefit of the doubt that it wouldn't flake. I don't really know why I'm reviewing it because you guys can't even get it. But I made this video before I knew that they took it down. So whatever. I'll just give you my ratings. They're not good anyways. So the formulation, I gave a 1 out of 5 because I am unsure, because it was so dry, what it would have actually been if I didn't get a malfunctioning one. So length, I gave it a 1 out of 5, which there was no length. So probably should be a 0, but volume, I gave a 1 out of 5. Just trying to be nice with this. I have no feedback because I literally did not wear it for 6 hours because there was nothing on my eyes. Like, even if I would rub my eye with it on, there was nothing. So separation, 1 out of 5. Stay all day, 1 out of 5. And then take off, 1 out of 5 because it didn't go on, so I couldn't really have anything to take off. And then overall, 0 out of 5. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, so that's it. This is the last one before the final reveal of the best mascara, in my opinion. Voluminous Lash Paradise, and this is the primer that comes with it. So you put on the primer, then you put on the mascara. For flaking, I gave it a 3 out of 5 because it did flake throughout the day, a little worse than the others that flaked. The formulation, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because the tube is drying out from when I used it. It's probably been 2 months maybe since I made the first part of that video. The first part of this part of the video, so 2 months isn't a very long time. Typically, tubes of mascara last 6 to 10 months if you're using them regularly, which I have used this since, so I don't know. For length, I gave it a 5 out of 5. It had great length. Volume, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it had nice volume. Separation, I gave it a 5 out of 5. It gave great volume without getting clumpy. My lashes were separated, so that was nice. For stay all day, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because it did stay great all day besides the flaking. The takeoff was rather easy, and when you cry, it does come off, so it's not really holding up for the cry test. But overall, I gave it a 6 out of 10 because it's a lot of work to do this and then this for like not a very good payout. So I just did a 6 out of 10. It's not my favorite. I won't purchase it again, probably. It was hyped up too, so I didn't really like that. But, oh well. Now, for the grand reveal, which if you guys did process of elimination, you already know what it's gonna be. But my favorite, and the one that I'm wearing currently, is Maybelline Lash Sensational. So it looks just like the Sky High, which is the one I was talking about before. They're even the same color. I think the Sky High is just that it's waterproof. That's the difference, maybe? I just don't really know the difference. But for flaking, I give a 5 out of 5. There was absolutely no flaking. For the formulation, 5 out of 5 because it was perfect. It was like not too wet, not too dry, just great. Length, 5 out of 5. Volume, can you guess? 5 out of 5. Great volume, great length. Separation, 5 out of 5. There was no clumping. It was so easy to put one layer after the other and get no clumping. It was great. Probably the best. Like if you look at my eyelashes, I did that so fast and it still looks great. I mean, I did it like 20 minutes ago, but it still looks great. Stay all day, 5 out of 5. Take off. This is the only issue. I gave it a 4 out of 5 for the takeoff because it did tube up like the Sky High, but it wasn't as hard to take off as the Sky High. It was rather easy for being a tubey mascara. So it held up against the cry test. It's like the perfect mascara. Overall, 10 out of 10. This will be the stuff I buy from now on and I use until I get sick of it. The only bad thing was the tubing when you take it off, but it still comes off fairly easily. Alright, now that all the ratings are in, I will show you guys my ratings from best to worst with prices, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, the overall rating for them right here on the screen. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I helped you to grab a mascara that might work for you. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.